Okay, let's talk about today's 1 hour workouts. Thanks for doing the polls. So today your coaches are me. I'm leading the session today, and big thanks to Matt joining us from RingCentral. Really appreciate the efforts and partnership that's going on, and we're really focused on this on making voice over IP standard within all of our client CRMs. So this is a good start point to help introduce you to the options that we have there. The plan today, and just to mention, Dunk will be back next week. So he'll be back next week on the 1 hour workouts. If you've missed Dunk, he's been cycling around the Scottish Isles for the last 2 weeks, sending me pictures, making me very jealous. But he's back next week doing the 1 hour workouts. So you'll be pleased to see him back. Okay, so today's plan, we've already done our warm-up polls as we do every week. I'm going to show you how to manage your calls in Zoho CRM. First of all, manually by scheduling, login, and just an introduction to some of the phone fields that you may have seen or not seen that are available. And then I'm going to show you how to add voice over IP to your CRM, choosing a voice over IP provider with PhoneBridge, and obviously that one we're going to come to the conclusion that we recommend RingCentral, and I'll explain why that's the case when we come to that point. I'll show you how easy it is, and it really is so simple to integrate RingCentral into Zoho One or into Zoho CRM. I'm then going to show you a short demo on using RingCentral to receive and make calls. So that's using click to dial and receiving a call into CRM. And then I'm going to hand you over to Matt, who's going to give you a short introduction into RingCentral. And then we'll cool down with any Q&A that's come up throughout the session. Or if you have any other questions, we should be finished around about 10 to 11 to go through those. So hopefully that's the plan. Let's make a start. So first of all, let me just go to the Q&A. Great stuff. So we're clear at the moment, but as I say, just post your questions in there if you have any. So let's have a look at the manual problem. So let's have a look at what might currently be happening in CRM. So here we are in Zoho right now, in my Terry Jones contact in our test system. So if we have the situation where we want to schedule a call with Terry, then we use our open activities. And as you already know from our other sessions, activities consist of tasks, meetings, and calls. And for the purposes of today's 1 hour workout, it's all about the call. So when you click on your open activities in the contact record, and likewise, it's exactly the same in the lead record. You know, if it's this is a cross module, it's not just specific to contacts, but it's easiest to demonstrate it in this facility. So open contacts, and we've got the option here to click and add a call from here, or we can come down to the activities by using the navigation on the left hand side and click in add call here. So let's go for this option. We're going to click on add call, and that brings up two options: schedule a call or log a call. So scheduling is obviously scheduling a call for the future, and logging a call is logging a call that's taken place in the past. So first of all, let's click on schedule a call, and that will bring up our simple form to schedule. It's automatically going to populate the contact with the record that you're in. So Terry Jones is automatically populated. If you did need to change that, then you can click on lookup, and that will bring up your contact database to choose which contact you want to schedule this call with. The related to is an important field. It defaults to the account. So in this case, it's going to pull up the accounts, and we can choose Monty Python should we want to. But if we want it associated with another record, for instance, a deal that we're currently working on, then we can change the related to and select deal. And then when we search, it will bring up the deals which Terry Jones is related to. So let's select Series 5. And that will also place this call record against that deal. So it's going to be against the contact, and it's going to be against the deal. When we're scheduling a call, the call type is frozen out. It's always going to be outbound because obviously you're scheduling it. So really you can't schedule an inbound call because they just come in. So it's the scheduling is all about the outbound. And the outgoing call status is scheduled, and that will change once the call has been marked as completed. It will be changed to completed. But in this interface, it's locked out because you're going to be scheduling the call. And then when you're going to make the call, so just click into the date field and use the calendar to select the date, or like always, you can go in and change the dates manually. And when we click into the time field, that will give us half-hour slots. So it makes it easy to select a time. and in this case 4 p.m. is fine. So on the 30th of 6th at 4 p.m. As with other records in the CRM, we've got the capability to delegate out this scheduled call to our other users, but in this case we're going to make it ourselves, so we're call owner Steve Diggle. And the subject automatically populates with call schedule with Terry Jones, although you can go in and make edits to this if you sure want to. And then the reminder will be the timings, so 5-10 minutes before, days before. We'll put 15 minutes before, and that will pop up in our reminders down the bottom right hand side before that call needs to be made. So really useful features. The call purpose, these ones are default. So we've got prospecting, admin, negotiation, demo, project, and desk, but they are configurable. So if you've got more call purposes or more defined call purposes, then you can go in and change these as you need to. And none of these fields are mandatory apart from the start time, call type, and call to. Call agenda is speak about series 5. And let's schedule it. So now in our CRM, we can see that our open activities, we've got a call scheduled with Terry Jones to make edits. And you'll notice a difference here. So in our tasks, we've got the ability to complete those tasks, and they move to our closed activities. But with our open activities, that doesn't exist. What does exist is the 3 dots, which allow us to mark it as completed, which will move it into the closed, to reschedule, or to cancel the call. So there is a slight difference between the calls and also the tasks in that you won't see that completion one until the call has actually been completed. So when the time comes for this, the reminder will pop up 15 minutes before 4 o'clock, and then you'll be able to make that call from the CRM. Let's just do the retrospective one. So we can click on call, and this time we're going to log a call, and it will bring up a slightly different form. So again, we're going to relate this one to a deal, and it will bring up the deals related to Terry. So this one's about series 6. The call type here, now it's selectable because it's one that we're logging. So it either was outbound, we made the call, it was either inbound, or indeed it was missed. So we can mark it as an inbound call, and it will default to the call start time of now when you actually raise that form. But it might have come in 9:30 saying you're on the call for 30 minutes. So you're able to change these durations. And it's automatically called the subject incoming call from Terry. And then the description, you may put some notes in here, notes about the call, and then save. So we've managed to log that. That one's gone into our closed activities. So our incoming call is here, made at 9:30. And we can go into that call record now. And you may want to add some more detailed notes. So once you're in the call record, we can add notes about the call. Really good. Discussing series 5, and he wants to go ahead. So this is the best place for adding our notes. And here we can add a title as well, just like we do with all our notes, and save. And also don't forget we've got capability to add attachments if we've got some relevant documentation. But this is a free text area for you to really document the calls that are taking place in your system, and one that you should be using so that it's very relevant and contextual within the contact record. So if we go back to our contact record with Terry, you'll see that the call notes. Sorry, let's go back to there. So you'll see that the call notes are now very, very distinct in our contact record, with a related element of call here sitting nicely. Okay, so that's doing the manual way of login and schedule calls, which it works. It's fairly straightforward and simple, but I often find in discussing this with clients and users that it's one of those things that that people genuinely don't do. Unless you get into the practice or the art of actually going through and scheduling and going through and logging those calls in there, it's not something that's commonplace. So that's one of the reasons why we recommend integrating Voiceover IP into your system, because all of that form filling is done automatically by the system. And the only thing that the user has to do is add in those notes. So let's just go back to the agenda, and we'll take a look at some of the options that we've got. So what we're going to suggest is that we're adding Voiceover IP to Zoho CRM. So this one is very straightforward. Let me just flick over the screen share. So just bear with me a second. Yeah, okay. So hopefully you saw the screen share. And I was just talking about going into the marketplace within Zoho One. And actually, one of the important things is when you go into CRM and configure telephony, you're able to go in there, and it will be exactly the same screen that you see within CRM that we're now seeing in Zoho One. So when you come into Zoho One, you'll see the marketplace apps that have been enabled within the phone bridge integration. And if we scroll down, it's done alphabetically, then you'll see here the RingCentral integration. And when we click on RingCentral, it will give us the overview that's there ready for us. And this very complex integration here, which isn't complex at all, we click on Enable, and it will allow us then to log into RingCentral, where we can log in, and that will bring up a separate interface, which you can't see on this screen, where we just actually put our RingCentral credentials in there. Okay, so let's click on our record. And now I'm going to use the click to dial facility. So on a mobile here, I'm going to click to call, and that's going to bring up the interface, which brings up here, calling Terry Jones. And I'm now going to answer that call. Okay, so the call's been answered, and it's now brought up our interface ready to use. So here with Terry, it's showing us the record. We've got the ability to end the call. We've got the ability to mute the call, and we've also got the ability to pause it, which will put the hold music onto the end client. Also as well, you can see here we've got the contact information. Now this is important because this contact information is driven from the business card within the contact record. So whichever fields you put into the business card will appear on this contact information. So here you can see contact owner, we can see the email, we can see the phone, mobile, and the mailing city. And really importantly, we can also see the deals that we're currently working on with Terry. So if we click on the deals, we'll be able to see that we're working on Series 5, and we've got the amounts in and the probability. And we can also see that we're working on Series 6, again with the amounts and probability. And these fields are also pulled from the business card within the deal. So whatever you want to see in the call information has to be in the business card, and you're allowed up to 5 fields in that business card. So that's a really important feature for you. As we're having this call now, we've now got the ability to make notes. So discussing Series 5, and all is good. Okay, so we've now made the call. We've now added our notes about Series 5, and so from this interface, we can end the call. Once we've ended the call, that's then brought up this interface, which gives us a summary of our description. And now we've got the ability to add a follow-up action. So we can click on Add Follow-up, select our system, and we can choose a call, event, or task. And we might be rescheduling another call. So click on the call option, and that will bring up the same form. We can then relate that to the deal that we just talked about. So we're going to relate that to Series 5. And you've seen this stage before from the beginning. It's exactly the same process. We're now going to schedule our follow-up call. And it gives us a summary of that call action. We can also go in and let's add in another task. So we might have a follow-up task, which will bring up the task interface where we can prepare a proposal. And we need to do that by the 30th. And we can save that as well. So we've now got a complete summary following that call. Let's click on Done. So in our closed activities now, the incoming call from, sorry, let's just refresh that a second. So now in our closed activities, it should be, we've got the outgoing call to Terry at 10:26. And when we click into that one, that's going to give us our information to add notes. And we've also got our follow-up action as well of prepare proposal, and also our call schedule to make edits, or the call schedule that we just prepared earlier, this one here, call schedule with Terry Jones. Okay, so that's the outbound one, very simple. So now I'm going to demonstrate the inbound. So just bear with me while I make the dial. Okay, so we've got the inbound call coming. So the prompt box will now appear. So the prompt box has now appeared from calling from Terry Jones, and that will be available to any agents that have got access to this. And we can also see the deals. So before we answer the call, we can see what the deals are that they're talking about, or we can see the contact information. So let's answer that call. And that will bring up the interface that we're currently familiar with, again, showing our deals. And this time we can go inbound call was good. And the same interface, we're going to end that call. And we can also add our follow-up actions and click on done. And then when we refresh the record, and it will appear here as an incoming call from Terry at 10:30 once that integration has kicked in. Okay, and then just finally from me before I hand over to Matt. So in our activities, you'll also see that you've got some custom views to show you your call data. So those custom views are already available to you. If you select call, then you'll see all of these call options. So you've got all calls, which will list absolutely everything that's going on. You'll see things like your upcoming calls, so your scheduled calls, which will show those calls that have been scheduled. But you've got the ability to manage your calls just from this view as well. So let's have a look at incoming and so on. You've also got the capability, of course, to create custom views for your own calls. So for instance, today's schedules or whatever it is. But ultimately, there's a whole bunch of custom calls available for you. And also in the reports section, let's just click on reports. You've also got a number of call reports that are available. For instance, all calls today or call type report. Let's just take a quick look at that. So call type, you can see inbound, missed, and outbound for each of your agents. And again, these ones aren't reports that you have to configure. These are ones that are available in the CRM. Okay, so apologies for the audio and share screen details there. Hope that didn't detract from the message that that was helping you with. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to do a handover now over to Matt, who's going to introduce you to the security, flexibility, and scalability of RingCentral. Yep, that's great. Thank you, Matt. Over to you, sir.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So thank you all for joining this morning, and thank you, Craig, for inviting me on. My name is Matt Lambert. I am a territory partner manager here at RingCentral. I work in conjunction with Craig at Target Cloud with regards to sales support, technical support, and supporting customers from seat sizes from 1 up to infinity, essentially. So I'm here to be a point of contact for you guys, and hopefully schedule some follow-up calls with Craig and the team, and see where we can kind of take you through that journey from a telephony standpoint. So let me jump straight in. So some very short intros and a very brief agenda. I won't keep you for too long, but as you can see here, we're going to be going through the employee experience as it stands today, RingCentral's business in numbers, why RingCentral, and a very brief product overview and we'll finish off with a very short Q&A. So before we take a jump into the technology, I wanted to spend some time highlighting who we actually are, and why you should consider a partnership with ourselves. RingCentral are a worldwide leader in unified comms and contact center solutions, grown out of Belmont, California in 1999, with a global presence most recently in EMEA and Australia. In the UK, we've quadrupled our headcount over the past 4 quarters, where I joined 3 months ago. At that point we had around about 300, and I think it's just over 300 bums on seats, and taking that back to about 14 months ago, we had around about 30 odd. So we've grown our channel business over the past 3 or 4 years, and a completely channel focused organization, hence why I'm here to support Craig and the team, again, to drive as much support and drive as many customer opportunities as possible, similar to this webinar, to simultaneously provide world-class solutions for you, the end customers. So what does today's workflow and world currently look like? I think it goes without saying that the past year and a half has forced a huge shift in the typical kind of day-to-day employee experience. At the start of COVID, the average employee was forced to work from home, whilst businesses had to quickly scramble and adopt processes unfamiliar to them. Obviously, there's been a huge shift with regards to a growing remote workforce, and more recently, kind of uncertainty with regards to how that's going to look moving forward, whether or not we're going into a hybrid model or whether or not we're going to stay for a working from home model for the time being. To talk about some of the numbers and to give you a snapshot of us as an organisation, I mean, when I first joined RingCentral, I was told that the company acts like a startup, but have the legacy of a huge enterprise, but behind us, with our 20 years in business. So now being in the business for the past 3 months, the numbers on the screen are an absolute testament to that fact. We're now transacting we're transacting $1.4 billion globally, as we continue to grow 35% year on year. We have had an uptake of customers over the past year and a half who have been open to moving to the cloud, with the pandemic. However, we can actually point to the fact that our growth over the past 7 years highlights over 30% year on year. We are truly 100% cloud. Again, we've been in the industry for 20 years, or 20 plus years, apologies. And we are also growing within the identified markets on the screen. So essentially, we segment our customer base based on seat size. So Soho, SMB, mid-mass market, and enterprise. I believe we've got a mixture of customer sizes on the call, but as you can see from the stats on the screen, we are growing exponentially in both mid-market, which is up to 500 seats, and enterprise, which is 1,000 seats and above. And can support customers from as little as 1 seat all the way up to infinity. So this particular slide is new to me, and it really resonated with me after seeing it a few weeks ago. The stats you can see are from the middle of last year, and whilst we wait for the updated numbers, we can share them with you once these are out. But we are expecting these to be much further in favour of cloud deployments. Apologies. As you can see, the numbers that traditional on-prem system sales were down by 18%, and that was pre-COVID. Cloud UCaaS sales were up by 24%, whilst RingCentral are up by just over 30%. As alluded to earlier, and reiterates my point that RingCentral were winning pre-pandemic, and reiterates our dominance within that particular cloud space, which we know is saturated at the moment. Something we are really proud of is our stance within the Gartner Magic Quadrant, which I'm hoping you're familiar with. Gartner are an independent body who review the vendor landscape and consider views of customers and plotting them within a section of that quadrant. As you can see, we are in the top right. We're a global leader, and have recently been awarded this position for a 6th year running. The image you can see on the screen does date back to March 2020, and we do expect to be further ahead than we are actually positioned. We're also trusted by other accredited third parties such as Forrester and Frost & Sullivan. And we also partner with leading GSPs around the world, as well as the provide solutions for the AAAs, which are Atos, Avaya, and Alcatel-Lucent, who operate their own powered by RingCentral offering. But I guess ultimately, why is this important to you as the customer? Being a leader means you would be partnering with the best of the best. RingCentral invests roughly a third of our revenue into R&D, which means you access quarterly updates with continuous innovation and improvement into the platform. This will ensure your employees are able to work as efficiently from anywhere, anytime, and on any device, ensuring a higher return on investment while simultaneously achieving a much more efficient workflow. On the right of the screen, this highlights the use cases by customers themselves. These are real life use cases based on direct feedback from end users from within these 5 different spaces, and hopefully gives you the reassurance that you are potentially partnering with a global leader within this space. Just to point out our global scale and coverage, we are a truly global organisation with a continued focus on growth and delivery. We're able to deploy domestically and internationally through our global network. We follow the sun with 24/7, 365-day support, and is fully scalable and is a one-size-fits-all solution. It is secure at every level and built on a carrier-grade, multi-tenanted, fully redundant service to give you the reassurance that you are potentially partnering with an industry leader. So to give you some reassurance on our trust and reliability, RingCentral enables businesses to connect their mobile and distributed workforces across multiple countries with local phone numbers, PSTN access, and other capabilities, ensuring business expansion is quick and simple. So two key points to highlight here are demonstrated through our, I believe, security and compliance as a key point, as well as quality of service. But back to the security side of things, we provide robust security measures at every single level of architecture and support regional certifications. On the QoS and SLA side of things, we are absolutely very proud of our 5.9 SLA, so 99.999% uptime, which equates to around about 78 seconds of downtime per quarter. So just to put that into perspective, some of our competition only have 4 nines, so 99.99, which equates to around about 13 minutes of downtime per quarter, and some only have 99.9, so the 3 nines, which works out to be around about 2 hours and 10 minutes per quarter. Again, our product is hugely scalable, which allows users to add additional extensions very easily. And on a final note, on this slide, we won't unfortunately have time to do so, but I just wanted to touch upon the analytical side of our solution. Accessing this either through the RC app or browser, IT managers will be able to view the QoS, highlighting call quality, downtime, any drop, packet loss, that type of thing. Or potentially if you're in a sales management or an owner, you can check usage, outbound calls, incoming calls, wait time, adoption, that type of thing. So really powerful stuff. And just to reiterate on our SLA, the key takeaway is that our 99.999 SLA are financially backed, and we've been delivering this consistently for the past 12 quarters and counting. Delivering an ever more critical service for our customers in the cloud is not easy to do, especially at this level. We may not have 145 million daily users, or being everyone, everything to everyone, including Zumba classes, and therefore find it hard to get this level of service. But this really is important to us. In today's market, there is a lot of emphasis on features and the race to bring new features out as quickly as possible to impress the users mostly, hoping this drives new buying decisions. We're a B2B business, and our design principles around high availability, security, and reliability, as well as the features. This is what creates trust and sets us apart from the competition. So what actually is it? And Matt, you've been banging on for almost 10 minutes now and haven't actually told us what it is. So I'll give you a very brief solution overview. This slide highlights everything across the RingCentral portfolio and is considered the RingCentral universe internally. You can see our entire product portfolio here, with customer contact center solutions on the left, through Engage Voice, Engage Digital, and Contact Center as a whole. So I can run through that when if that opportunity ever does pop up after this session. I'm more than happy to go through some questions and answers for you. As well as on the right, our MVP product for business employee communications on the right. Everything comes together under the one platform, which is tightly integrated together. So why RingCentral? What is it, and how do we create this solution for you? Essentially, our message is very simple. RingCentral MVP is a single global collaboration platform and communications platform, which provides messaging, calling, and meetings for companies of all sizes. We've developed a single industry-leading solution that's easy to manage and offers enterprise-grade communications features labeled as MVP, as you can see there: message, video, phone. Our RingCentral app is uniform across our entire product base, ensuring familiarity wherever you find yourself in the world. It comes with hundreds of out-of-the-box features, including IM, text, voice calling, video meetings, automatic frequent upgrades with zero effect on your day-to-day business. Equipping you as the customer with this single application will ensure that you are able to communicate with colleagues and customers. The tight integration between message, video, phone is one unified application. Enables users to seamlessly switch between each mode of communication. So if we were doing this via RingCentral, I'd quite easily be able to pick up my phone and walk around the living room and walk over to the shops whilst delivering this presentation. It really is that simple. So very quickly, message, as you can see here on the screen, This is what I live and breathe. This is what I load up every single morning. It's on my phone, it's on my tablet, it's on my laptop. Video, again, this is exactly everything that I'm doing on a daily basis. So really is truly that simple, and proof is in the pudding with that messaging. And from a phone perspective, as you can see there, I won't read them out all for you, but we provide in-depth analytics, which we can go into in a further session, as I know we are strapped for time. But just before I finish, and just to summarize, really, our solution is completely integratable through an entirely open API platform, Zoho CRM being one of the 200 plus that we have in our app gallery. Each of our customers you have access to. I know obviously Craig has demonstrated the integrations and how it's actually configured earlier on in this session, and I'm more than happy to follow up in a session afterwards to go in more detail with one of our system engineers who we are aligned to in the UK. I did see a stat recently which highlighted that 69% of employees waste a total of 32 days per year navigating between apps, and I think, I mean, looking at that now, it is a scary number, and we are here to make that as simple as possible by consolidating that into one centralized app. But I mean, ultimately, what does this mean? What does open to anything mean? It essentially allows organizations to centralize part of or the entirety of their business around their telephony platform, allowing key integrations into everyday business grade applications, including Zoho, Office 365, Zendesk, and many, many more, to bring your entire workforce together and allow your employees familiarity with existing tools that they may be used to. RingCentral operate on a no-code, low-code, and high-code basis, which are essentially coding. I won't try and vouch that I have a master's in coding by any stretch, but the message from that is that we have the capability to go as simple as integrating into anything that you can see on the screen, plus more, as well as kind of in-depth integrations into potentially bespoke solutions that you are trying to make as the customer. We can do that for you. We can do this via the developer portal, which I'm more than happy to show you after this call. So ultimately, it drives business efficiency and boosts employee productivity, and really does separate us from the rest. And another key part of our integration story is our Microsoft integrations. So for those users who are fully invested into Teams and wish to continue to use Teams, or reluctant to move away, we can absolutely provide you with the robust cloud PBX from a telephony standpoint, and experience all of the RingCentral capabilities behind the scenes, so the customer doesn't even need, or the employee doesn't even need to know that it's RingCentral technology behind that call. So we have the capabilities to do that. So thank you very much for letting me on. Hopefully that all kind of made sense. Just to kind of finish off before handing back over to Craig, I'm hoping it's potentially opened your eyes to the capabilities of consolidating your communication systems. From my experience throughout my career, I've been that customer and can completely understand that we're sometimes blinded by existing issues with telephony platforms, and I guess in some cases come to accept downtime, unreliability, and quality issues, and it's just part of the day-to-day. However, after making the move to RingCentral a few months back and engaging with Target Cloud, I mean, my eyes have been completely open to the possibilities and benefits of moving to the cloud. I've seen it in the 3 months, and I've seen the capabilities of what we can do for you. And we'd welcome a conversation with our account executives, as well as myself and the Target Cloud team to help guide you through every single step of the way, and would absolutely welcome a follow-up conversation with each and every one of you, showcasing our capabilities as I know we can do. So with that, I'll hand back to Craig and open up to any questions that you may have.
Marvelous, thanks, Matt. That was great. And when you told me it was 18 slides and you would actually go through them in that amount of time, that was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic that we get so much content in such a short time. Couple of questions for you. So first of all, the UK focus, because obviously RingCentral is a global company, but for our clients, the Target Cloud is very much focused on the UK market. So what's been the investment in the UK from RingCentral recently?
So we know. I'll spin the. I'll ask a question of it if that's all right. In terms of what's the kind of story behind it and why, or is that what you're asking? Sorry, Craig, or is that what the original question was?
Yeah, just from a perspective of support for our UK clients. So if they were to choose RingCentral and they
Got you.
wanted support and to know that they've got a friendly point of contact in this country, how does that work? Because I know that you've invested quite heavily in the UK recently.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great question. So thank you. So essentially, the way it works is simple, and the process follows the same as if it's a million seats over one. Essentially, we ask all customers to get involved with regards to Target Cloud. We can then sit down with regards to how is best to move forward with that particular opportunity and suss out any form of integration that you're looking for, any additional capabilities that you're after, any existing pain points. Once that is with us, we will work with you directly with regards to moving forward. From a support function, we have, as I mentioned, we have 365 days, 24/7 support. So no matter what time of the day or night you have an issue, we are there on hand. And yeah, the investment into the UK channel in particular has been something I've never experienced before, in all honesty. Being 3 months in and coming from a distribution background, it's been one of the most invested pieces of kind of just in the investment into what we've done is to support customers who are on the call has just been phenomenal, and it goes without saying that we are here to support from initial introduction all the way to deployment. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, it does vary across our clients as well, in that some will have, a very straightforward deployment where it just uses the click to dial and the incoming calls that we've seen in today's demo. But sometimes there'll be configuration for things like IVR and the, choose menu options and then, diversions and all sorts of complexity. But I believe that you guys will help with that on the installation. So that really helps.
Absolutely. Sure. So, and more than happy to set up demos. We're flexible with regards to what we can do. We'll be honest and open with what we can and can't do. And I haven't had an experience thus far where we haven't been able to integrate into a customer requirement. So when I mentioned that it does open your eye, and being here has opened my eyes to what we can and can't do. It is incredible. So I absolutely would welcome a conversation with each and every one of you to see how far we can take it.
Okay, and as our audience is being shy, I'm going to ask one more question, Matt, which is a fairly simple one. And none of these are rehearsed for this webinar, are they? I'm just throwing these out there.
Yeah, that's all right.
The devices as well. So this is a common question we get asked again for device integration in the CRM. So when the user clicks to dial, they'll have the options for soft phone, browser-based dialing, or indeed the app that RingCentral produce. So what's the sort of common method from CRMs, do you think, for accessing the actual voice device, as it were?
I mean, it purely, not to give you a very loose answer, but it really genuinely depends on the customer directly. So, I mean, we do have a number of customers who still prefer that handset. Absolutely, and we can support with that, no problem at all. We've got a number of different manufacturers which we can natively integrate into. That's completely fine. But I mean, from my personal use, I mean, I haven't used a handset for a very long time. I live on my phone, as lots of people do these days. So my mobile handset, that is, or my personal handset, I should say. I am personally just never away from my phone for too long, or my laptop, but we do still continue to see a mixture, and we can support either way. We can we can have we can steer you with regards to however it is you want to move, so it's completely fine.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much indeed for that, Matt. That was really good. Thank you for
No
joining
worries.
our 1 hour workout today, and you'll be welcome back at any time on
Thank you
to
so
help with
much.
help with the presentations. We're here every week. So I'm gonna bring it off to a close. So can you just confirm you can see my screen again, Matt? Given the issues we had earlier.
Yes, I have.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I've got you.
Yeah. So so if you want to follow up with the RingCentral today and integrating it in with Zoho CRM, then we've got some more information for you on our landing page, which is this one here. I'll share the link with you when we send out the information. And if you want to ask any questions or maybe go ahead with it, then just fill out the form at the bottom, and Matt and I will get in touch to make it a very simple and straightforward journey for you. There's also, if you want to know a little bit more about RingCentral, then they're also running their own webinar on Wednesday, the 7th of July. So again, I'll share this link with you for demystifying digital transformation. Much more catchy title than 1 hour workout, but there we go. You've got a bigger marketing budget than we have. So a couple of links for you there. So let's go back to our agenda. Don't forget that the recordings will be available on the portal for you, so everybody will be able to catch up with them in their own time on there. And thank you for attending. As always, you can schedule a one-to-one with us, send your support requests over to support@Target Cloud, follow us on LinkedIn, or leave a review. So on that note, thank you very much for attending today, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it, and thanks once again to our guest, Matt. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks all.